any leader in anything isn't just leading by the science of the deal, right? But it is science, so it's wrong. It's just leading by the technical skills. They're also leading to some extent by other cues. And those cues can be social, emotional, psychological. It doesn't matter. They're there, though. So a lot of times we think if we just get all of the technical cues in order, then everything's going to pan out and it'll all work. And so, you read a couple of manuals on how to be a good business manager, right? And you go and you pull out 5 tactics and you go and you start shoving them into the office space, and people are all freaked out. Well, yeah, because the rest of the cues that were needed to have it make sense, or put it in my context, what I often will do is I can see like 5 or 7 steps ahead. And so I start talking about that without talking about the 2 to 6 steps to get to step 7. And so the listener, which could be you, is like, how the heck did he get way over there? And my gosh, that's some crazy talk. And so learning to know that about myself and not, well, try to help lead you to where I got, right? Rather than just go there myself. So this applies across the board to all manner of knowledge and or action and or life. I lost it. There was a cool tangent that was going to be in here with regard to, it wasn't just music though. Oh, what was it? Secondary. Which then, in some ways that summarizes the whole thing I've been talking about through all this series, is that just because you have the technical cues, it's not cues, just because you have the technical logic of orthodoxy officially grasped, like as math, doesn't mean you're able to give the verbal cues to anybody else to understand what you're talking about. It doesn't mean you're able to convey it. It doesn't mean you're able to believe it even. And we're really clear about this in our confessions, that orthodoxy is not a matter of bare knowledge. I used to hate that distinction when I would read through it, because I was like, no, orthodoxy, it is so true. And how can you say, And the idea is the accusation that the Roman Catholics were bringing against the Reformation, which is that you're saying, faith alone, and that means all you have to do is like be able to answer tests or questions on a quiz about Jesus and justification. This was like kind of literally their accusation, right? All you have to do is be able to give an assent to a couple of terms, and you're saying people are saved without any regeneration, without any... See, we would say faith, though. I mean, that was our point. They heard faith as knowledge only. And we were like, no, faith is regeneration, sanctification, all this stuff, right? So we were like really clear to say, like, no, there's no way that saving faith is just a mere affirmation of knowledge. It's not without the knowledge. And knowledge is actually, maybe even 99% of it. But there is your presence there, okay? You being impacted by this word, you being raised from the dead by this word. So, in this way, the question I have is, not another question, the thing I would like us to just be aware of and accept and know, and then like not give into if and when we see it, is that still applies to us. Right? I mean, the Reformation's not over, and really it's never over. It never stops. It never stops. The Reformation in your life never stops reforming you. Mercies are new every morning, daily, by drowning, right? In your baptism. It's all starting over again. Got to learn the whole thing all over again. Sign of the cross, go on. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, with that said, to know that this, just because I've checked off all the right boxes on my little list of religion, of Lutheranism, doesn't mean I actually am thinking with it. I'm spiritualizing it. And I mean that in a good way in the sense. I'm being inspired by it. And it has a lot to do with these other cues then. So if you're when you're going to talk with someone who's not a Lutheran or not a Christian, and the only thing you have as conversational cues is intellectual rigor and bare knowledge of philosophical truth, well, they might not hear you, right? And that's what I want us to like just acknowledge that, right? Sure, can the Holy Spirit work across languages? Absolutely. Like the whole reason I'm comfortable having this conversation is because I believe Pentecost really still is here, not in a charismatic gifts kind of a way, but in a bare and naked trust that the Holy Spirit will do with His Word what He wants to do, and we can't stop Him. I think what He wants to do is have us love the created order fearlessly, because we know the grace of Christ has us firm, and so we should not be afraid of things like human engagement, or of knowing God, theology in the old language, but knowing God is not merely a matter of math. It's not queen of the sciences, yes, but science not really. Not really. Not the way we use that word today. Not at all. And if you want to share that with somebody else, right, then you have to share more than the science. We have to be believing that there is more than science to Christianity. I'm not saying there's not science. There's dogma. There's truth, right? But it is only one of the cues that is conveyed in confession. It's only one of them. And this bit about the band director and whatnot is kind of spot on, right? You can walk in and say the same words, and someone picks up on all sorts of other stuff because, frankly, you are without love, and they can tell.